Hello, everyone. I'm Rochel Marie Lawson, known as the Queen of Feeling Fabulous. And boy, have you all stepped into a room of powerful, bold, unstoppable women. You see, this show, the Bold, Unstoppable show, is about women and the issues that we face in today's society. And today's show is titled The Unique Power of Women, because we are powerful. So now in a world clamoring for change, the voices of bold, unstoppable women resonate like never before. And the Bold, Unstoppable Women show proudly presents my invigorating panel, Christina Smith and Dr. Andrea Boudreau. And today we are going to not only gather in a moment to give tribute to those indomitable spirits of women who dare to lead, dream, and inspire all of us, and who have done that in the past and are still inspiring us, even though they may not be here with us. It's about celebrating the strength, resilience, and the grace that defines us. Now, through our stories of triumph, leadership, innovation, we will explore how women across the globe are breaking barriers, shaping futures, and empowering the next generation. So, as we sit here and have this engaging conversation, I invite you to join us, and you can chat, put your information, comments, questions in the chat, as well as subscribe to the show so you get advanced notification of the topics and the panelists that are going to be sharing the platform with me at each and every show. So now my esteemed panelists are going to not only share where they are, what they're doing, but the challenges they may have overcome and the wisdom they've gained from the challenges that they've overcome, which has made them bold and unstoppable. So right now, I don't want to delay any further. I want our panelists to introduce themselves. And so let's start with the beautiful Christina Smith, right in the middle.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on too. I am Christina Smith. I am currently living in Virginia. I'm a bit of a nomad, so I never know where I'm going to be year to year. But I'm a life coach for midlife women, which I think is like the most awesome time of life to be a woman. I didn't know I would enjoy it so much growing up. And I guess one of the big things that I think about when we talk about unstoppable women and boldness from my life is that I was a really good follower when I was growing up. I was a people pleaser. And so, there was like, I had to go to college. I had to get a job. My mom had the whole checklist of things for me to do. And she kept telling me, you'll be happy when, you'll be happy when. And I did all of those things. And by 35, I was never more depressed than when I had checked all those boxes and I didn't know what to do with myself. And I kept shaming myself like, Christina, why can't you just be grateful? Why can't you just be positive? What's wrong with you? Your life is better now than it was when you were a kid. Like, what's wrong with you? And I had to really step back. And one of the most powerful questions that I hope that every woman will ask themselves is, what is it that you actually want? And I was really lucky that somebody asked me that. And then when I went to answer and
Okay,
said,
Christina.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's let Dr. Andrea Boudreau introduce herself as well.
I'm sorry. You were talking about one trouble and I just wanted to get it in, but yeah,
no worries.
I'm so sorry, Dr. Andrea.
No, I am so excited. And you could see me. I was right there with her, and the story was so compelling. I am super excited to be here, Dr. Andrea Boudreau. I'm in Washington, D.C. I am the CEO of Children's School Services, which is one of the affiliate organizations of Children's National Hospital. I oversee our school and community health practice, and so we have a little over 200 clinics across the region where we provide primary care, specialty care, and behavioral health to the children in the district and surrounding areas. So very excited to be here with you and look forward to this discussion.
Well, it's very nice to have you. And apparently we are having all kinds of technical issues behind the scene, but that's okay, because Bold, Unstoppable Women, we roll with it. You know what I'm saying? We roll with it, So, okay, I want to just jump into the topic in our conversation. And so one of the questions I have for you panelists are, how do you define the unique power of bold, unstoppable women? And can you share an example from your life or career where this power was distinctly evident? And let me start with you, Dr. Andrea Boudreau. Enlighten us.
I promise we could not have done this on a better day. Last year, I had, in 2022, I joined Children's and had the burden of managing all of these clinics, and staffing was horrendous. We were coming out of the pandemic. I'm doing the air quotes for those who are just listening and can't see me. We were coming out of the pandemic. I do the air quotes because I still have people with COVID right now. I have a mask on anytime I'm outside of my personal space. And we were struggling with staffing. And so I presented to the District of Columbia an idea of how we would redo staffing for our clinics, and the Department of Health has to approve that. Everyone told me no. They did not believe that we could do it. And today we celebrated our paraprofessionals and health technicians. It was standing room only in the room. So just a little over a year ago, I was told you'll never be able to do it. It's impossible. And I have hired so many people I didn't even have chairs for them all today. So when people tell you no, an example of someone telling me no was literally in 2022 when the district said, "There's no way you're going to be able to do this," and I said, "Watch me work." And today we had them all in the room, standing room only.
I love it. See, now, what if you would have been like, well, okay, and just crawl back into your office and just kind of, did what you were told, right? That you're a woman, you're awfully grateful to be. You should be grateful that you're in this position and we even are listening to you, right? And just go back in your office and we're gonna handle it. You did that. And here you like, really? Y'all told me no? Watch me. And see, that's
watch me work.
Exactly. I think that's what but being a bold, unstoppable woman is about. And ladies, I'm sure everybody's not like us. There are women that would have just went and sat back in their office and ate, just sat there and probably been tearful or whatever, and then just kept on going. But when you're a bold, unstoppable woman, you have a higher calling. And your calling is not necessarily to serve those that may be in position above you, your superiors who you report to, but to serve the masses. And what you did, Dr. Andrea, you served the masses, and that's what it's all about. I love it. I love it. So now, Christina, I want to ask you this. I want to ask you, what are some of the most significant challenges you faced as a woman in a leadership role, and how have you overcome them?
I think for me, the biggest challenge so far has been being my own business owner, because when I was working for other people, it was really easy because all the business stuff was taken care of and I could just do my talent. I could, be a coach for someone else or do something like that. But when you have your own business, at least for me, the hardest part has been like doing the business side and the things that I'm not so good at, or at least hiring people who know what they're talking about. And I still have to know enough so that I feel like, I know whether they're doing a good job or not. So for me, the leadership piece is really about learning what parts of my business I want to do and what parts I can let go of. And I think that is really hard for a lot of us who are used to like control issues and want to like do all of the things, but it doesn't make sense to do all of the things. It really makes sense to lean into my gifts. And I think that that's what, unstoppable women do, is they lean into what they're good at and they get help and support to do all the things that they're not great at. I hope that answered your question.
Love this because, again, two very powerful, bold, unstoppable women, and they understand the concept of what it means. And we do have challenges that we face in today's society. And so I want to welcome to the stage Dr. Crystal. And Dr. Crystal, we're talking about some things what we face as bold, unstoppable women that are challenging. But before we go on, I want you to just give a quick, brief synopsis of who you are and what you do.
Hello, everyone. Sorry for my delay. I just landed in Salt Lake City, so moving and traveling and being a bold, unstoppable woman, literally as we speak. Yeah, so thank you so much. I am Dr. Crystal, and I build courses and membership sites and turn your content, your ideas, your value, your genius that you bring to the world into assets that you can sell.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so this is my girl, Dr. Crystal. I'm surrounded by doctors. Me and Christina, we just bold, unstoppable ladies. We got bold, unstoppable doctors in the house with us today. Okay, so the next question I wanted to throw out is, okay, ladies, when it comes to inspirational figures, who are the women who've inspired you the most, and what qualities do they possess that you find most empowering? And so, Dr. Crystal, since let's let the audience and the viewers hear from you.
Yes. Okay. So say the question again, because I had 7 answers come up. So I'm going to pick one. Did you say?
So who are the women that have inspired you the most, and what qualities do they possess that you find most empowering?
You know what? There are many, many people in the world that we all know, and the names that we know. Michelle Obama is one of them that has been in my life an inspiration. But I want to speak to those who are the regular women, the women who aren't necessarily out with a crown and a sash and showing up, but they're doing maybe boring businesses, or they're doing something that other people might. Oh, one of my dear friends, she's actually my hero right now. She's teaching me so much, and she has a cleaning business, and she's on track to hit $1 million next year in her cleaning business. And we forget sometimes. So I think I'm going to go with those who are doing it. Inspiration for me right now looks like consistency, and those people who are doing it even when it doesn't seem fun and it doesn't seem exciting, but they're going after it day after day after day, and now their businesses are looking beautiful and they're having that blissful life, and they are bold, unstoppable women, and they didn't let people stop them just because theirs wasn't sexy.
I love it. They're doing the daily grind. It's the women that are out there hustling, doing the daily grind that we will never ever hear about. But they're standing and commanding their thrones, they're expanding their empires, and they're making it happen on their own terms. And that is what I love, because, just a few short years ago, ladies, we couldn't do that. We couldn't do that. And so the question now I want to throw out with regards to that is, in today's society, I actually, and I'm sure you all have witnessed this too, I'm actually seeing a transformation. I want to say a metamorphosis with regards to women standing up for what they want to do and not letting a man dictate to them what they should, could, can, and will do, right? And so as we transcend down this path, things gonna come up. In we had a show last month about one of the main issues. But what is it that you would say to a young lady out there that you want to bestow some wisdom upon, that's confronted with someone not only telling her she can't do something, but she's not allowed to do it, whatever it may be, whether it's starting a business or going to a particular college or whatever it is? What inspiration, words of wisdom would you give to a young lady that has been facing or has faced a challenge like that? And let's go with you, Dr. Andrea.
Yeah. I am so mindful of the power of my position. And I'm telling you, all of this came today. I promise we did not plan this. We did not have a prep call where Rochel Marie was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna ask you, so have these stories. I promise you, I dealt with this today. Where we are planning an institute for my staff, because we have to bring everybody together. I have 200 clinics all over, so I have to bring everybody together, and we needed to sign a contract. Well, the rule is that you're supposed to have legal signed contracts, and I was like, I don't have time for them, and so I just signed it. I'm like, I'm the CEO, I'm gonna sign it. And so someone was like, aren't you supposed to have legal? I was like, you didn't say that. I am very aware. And so I said, I ask for forgiveness, not permission. It's what I do. I want to be clear, though, to the young ladies who are not in the position that I'm in, where I'm the CEO, and really, I mean, the level of thing I would have to do to be fired is so great. I want to be clear, though, to those young women who are watching, that you can be bold and step in and not let people tell you what you can't do. But I want to be mindful that I'm in a position where I have authority. And so when you're coming up and growing and starting your career, what you have to be unwavering about is your ability to stand up for yourself. And so never let someone tell you you're too old to go back to school. You're too old to change careers. You're going to have 4 years. It's going to be 4 years later, 4 years from now. You can either have the degree or not, but 4 years is going to pass. You are never too old. And so I tell people all the time, you be your own advocate and your own person, and never let people tell you you can't do this, you can't do that. Now, in my leadership role, I tell people all the time, I make the decisions, and I'm going to own the decision I make. And so to those leaders out there who are at a point in their career where they don't have to worry about getting a pink slip for making for stepping up and being innovative and bold, I say, never let people tell you no. I shared the story earlier about what we did, and the world is seeing what we're doing, and it is changing all over the district, how people are looking at that group of staff members, because I said, I don't care that it hadn't happened before. I'm going to be the first. Never be afraid to be the first.
Oh, I love it. That's, mic drop, another mic drop. We've been having them, and thank you, Dr. Andrea, because I think, again, it's important for the young ladies to hear. I think our young ladies today are a little bit more wherewithal, so to speak. Because I know as I was growing up, I was told you can't do something, you don't do something, you shouldn't do something, you're not allowed to do it. And I was always like, you watch me, I'm going to do it. I may have not vocalized it, but I knew as a very little girl, even though sometimes it got me in trouble, I knew that no one was ever going to tell me what I could and could not do. I was a person that needed to either go forward and make the mistakes and learn from them, or, decide to stay back. But it was my decision. And I think as a bold, unstoppable little girl who used to get in trouble with her mouth all the time, but as a unique woman growing up in a male-dominated aspect within my family, my power for me was in those moments when I was told I should have did something because everybody else was doing it, or the boys were doing it, or whatever. And I said, no, I'm not going to do it, or I'm going to do. I don't want a red. I don't want a pink bike. I want a red bike, or I want a blue bike, or whatever it was. It was, I think, the fire that instilled me to be the woman I am today, which is a bold, unstoppable chick. And so I think these young ladies today need to understand that it is possible to be successful and not follow the status quo, especially when it's not the status quo for you. So now, with regards to this beautiful conversation we're having about the unique power of women, we are resilient and we are very strong and powerful when we commit to being that. And if you see a mom looking over her child, and that's any species, human, animal, whatever, that mom is super protective of that child until that baby is able to take care of themselves. That's the unique power of women. We will fight for our children. Men don't necessarily do that, nor do they have the same wherewithal as we do to be that. They say you don't want to mess with a female tiger or a female woman, period, when it comes to kids. But with regards to that, can any of you share a moment where not only your strength was challenged, but it took almost everything you had in your heart and soul to move forward in the direction that you was heading, but the challenges became unsurmountable and for real? And Christina, let me have you address that.
Yeah, well, you were just talking about mamas and their babies, and I think one of the hardest things was I had moved to my own business to be home with my son, and then he decided he wanted to move across the country to be with his dad for high school. And I think that was probably one of the hardest things I ever had to go through, because I also had to run my business at the same time and I coach clients. So it was like, I really needed a therapist and a coach at the time too. And so I think that for me, it was like hard to see how I could run a coaching business when I was going through so much, as just like letting him go and letting his childhood go. So for me, I think even though it's not this like huge insurmountable thing, I think these are the things that we run into every day. And most women can probably relate to some point where their heart was just completely broken and they still had to keep going on. And I think, is that resilience that makes us unstoppable women. It's like not necessarily has to be these huge things, but it's like constantly going through even these medium-sized things and really saying, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. Nope. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I was like, I should just get a job. But then I talk myself back into it and I'm like, nope, I have a vision. I know exactly what I'm doing. And I just have to, this is just another bump that I have to get through.
I love what you shared. Thank you for sharing that, because I think, again, it's heartfelt. It's, it's a reality story, but you said something in the context of what you were sharing, which was you felt like you needed help. There was a moment you felt like you needed help. You're like, I'm strong, I'm powerful. I know I can handle this, but right now at this moment, I need a shoulder to lean on. I need some help. I need somebody to listen to me, whatever it was that you needed help with, right? And I think we all have been there. I think one of the unique power of bold, unstoppable women is we can admit when we've been in those moments, right? I think those that are not bold, unstoppable, for one, will never, ever admit that they were in the moment, and let alone admit that they needed help and they wanted help. They were reaching out, seeking, whether it's hanging out with your girlfriends or, watching a good, my thing, murder mystery, think about how I'm going to get back. No, I'm kidding. But, or just taking a long walk in nature, going to the spa, or just having some journaling time, reflecting and writing and getting your whatever it is out of you out. The power is that we are able to recognize when we need help. And I think that is a missing element in today. I think as we see in social media and all over the place, you see these women that present themselves as they're bold, unstoppable, but they won't ever admit they need help. And the approval that they're seeking is external of them. They're not seeking the approval of their own internal self, which is where the power and the glory and the gratefulness comes, right? So I love this dialogue about the unique power of women, because we all have multiple superpowers. I know I have a few. I know Dr. Andrea does, and I know Crystal does. And Christina, I don't know you quite like that, but I know I see and I'm listening. I hear you do too. Okay, ladies. So now when it comes to community as women, we tend to be, again, more of the caretaker roles and the the caretakers in society, no matter what it is, whether you have kids or not, you always are taking care of something. It's just a natural part of being a woman. How important is the role of being connected to your community and networking for what women are striving today to make an impact for our future female generations? How important is it to have a community and a network that allows us to do that? Dr. Crystal.
Everything. For me, it is everything to have that community. We have these callings and we have these things on our hearts, and all we have is ourselves to decide, to judge, to determine, to test it out. And if we don't have community, who's going to feedback and let us know? And last week I wanted to raise my hand. I had a message. I had something to say to a room, and I'm out there and I'm speaking all the time, but I'm kind of shy when it comes to raising my hand. That part, for some reason, I'm a little scared. And it happened. And I had the message. And ironically, the message was never let a lie go unchallenged. And I had every word of the message already in my heart. And I stood in a lie that I'm interrupting to raise my hand when everybody's raising their hand. And I stood in the lie and I couldn't break out of the lie. And I acknowledged it. And I told a friend, and she and her husband came to me and we talked about it, and I talked through it, and I went in like what was going on that I couldn't raise my hand. So for me, every single thing that I can't do on my own, every single thing that I could have berated myself and look at you, you didn't share. And instead, through community, I had the ability to turn that into something gold. And I've been doing deep work on that part of me that gets shy when it's time to raise your hand. And so for me, it is every single thing. When I get lost, I go to my community. When I'm just tired and I don't have any more energy, I go to my community. The only time I don't go to my community is when I've already been with them a lot and I just need to go home and be alone.
I love that. I love it. I know we're all involved in communities. Me and Crystal met in the community. Me and Dr. Andrea are in the community. And I'm a huge advocate of community connection and collaboration. I think that solidifies the strength in women when you can be vulnerable in your community. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you more stronger. That's that word. It makes you stronger and more powerful, right? It really doesn't. But so often we'll hear women that won't, like Crystal, what if she didn't, stood up and shared? And then she went back and she berated herself, but she's having all this negative self-talk. All of that just weakens the power that we have within us, right? So I believe that wholeheartedly community is everything. And when you're in the right community, we're gonna keep it real. All communities ain't right for us, right? All communities ain't right. It may look shiny, like I may want them Gucci shoes, but when I put them on, they hurt my feet and I get blisters. I'm gonna say red bottoms because I heard they do that. You know what I'm saying? They pretty, it looks good. I'm gonna feel like a bad chick in them. But when I go to walk, I can't keep them on for an hour because my feet are all blistered up. All communities are not right for us. And so I think, again, the unique power of women is finding the right community. Even when you've involved yourself in one and you realize it's not the right one, pull yourself out so that you can find the right community for you.
And
all
Rochel,
right, ladies. Okay. Yes.
I'm going to tell you this because it was so juicy. And if anybody wants it, you can reach out to me. I'll send you the link.
Juice. Yeah, give us the juice.
And this was the nerd in me. So I saw this thing called game theory this week, and I was like, oh, I'm going to listen to that. I'm an economist. Let me listen to game theory. It was a ruse. Underneath it, it was all the science behind game theory to prove it has proven that nice wins. And if you want to get nice to win, ultimately, even when the I don't remember what they called it, but we'll call it naughty. The naughty side, when people choose for the selfish reasons, nice wins every time. And when you introduce the naughty, it messes up the system. But in micro communities, this is where I was like, oh my gosh, this is science. When you form micro communities, if you get enough of those micro communities that play nice, this is all game theory, that play nice, call it whatever you want, whatever your version of utopia is, play nice together. And after so many micro communities, it just evolves into the whole. So it is literally through micro communities of choosing selectively, like you just said, choosing our micro communities selectively so that we are up, 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 up. And then together, these micro communities have the power. Alone, not one of us have that ability to even hold ourselves there, let alone to take the world there.
I love it. That's the power of community. I mean, some of the biggest scale-ups I've had is because I've been in the right communities. And, I want to say it's like, I'm gonna be naughty, but I can't. I'm gonna say it's like, you dibbling, dabbling, you meet that honey, he looking good, you looking good. You introduce yourself to each other as you like the vibe that's going on, right? You flirting a little bit, and then you go on a date, and then a couple more dates, and then you got a little kiss in there, a little foreplay. When it comes down to getting to that orgasm, you want that community to be right? And so it is when you're, I took it there, but of course, when you're in the right community and communities that nourish you like that, it is an orgasmic experience. It ain't always gonna be pretty. It ain't always gonna be nice. Everybody ain't gonna always agree and all that, with your boo or whoever, but you still get to that point where all the foreplay and all the experiences allows you to have this wonderful orgasmic experience in the community that allows you to be your natural self. And again, being a woman of power and being bold, unstoppable, we recognize that, and we have no shame in our game utilizing that to enhance our essence, because I think in essence that's what it's all about. All right, ladies, so we've got like 2.5 minutes. Anybody want to say anything about what we've talked about? Share any words of wisdom, that leads us out? And I would like, if you all want to share, something, please do, because that will lead us out to empower other bold, unstoppable women to be bold, unstoppable. So who wants to go first? Whoever wants to go, just start speaking. Okay, Kristen.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on to the communities, because women ask me, especially in midlife all the time, where do I find my women friends? Where do I find my community? And sometimes we have to create it. Sometimes when there's not something out there, we have to be bold enough to create and manifest what it is that we want out there and put it out there. And I've been a nomad, and I've developed networking groups all over the United States. I mean, everywhere I go, I'm just like, oh, there's not one here for women. Do it. Like, let's put it together so you can create it. So I just wanted to add that one piece, because I think community is so essential.
Thank you. Dr. Andrea.
Yeah, one thing that I've had to learn over the course of my career is that it's okay to sometimes take off the Superwoman cape. And when you have the right community, you can take it off and just be Andrea. And sometimes I don't want to be doctor. I don't want to be boss. I don't want to be chair. I just want to be in my yoga pants and, just my hair down. And it is okay. I think so often we as women feel like we always have to be on. And I want to give you permission to take off your Superwoman cape and find you a group of people who you can be authentically you, so that when you have to put it back on and go back into that crazy, busy world, you can still be yourself. You can be great because you've had some respite. It's okay to take the cape off sometimes.
Oh, I love it. Okay, Dr. Crystal.
That was beautiful. That was a mic drop moment. Like, wow.
I know. Dang, I got it. Look. Hold on.
My language.
Gotta give it up for Christina too. Okay. Yeah. Come on, Crystal.
That's amazing. So I will add one other thought to that, which is pay attention to how people make you feel. You'll know it's your community. You'll know it's your people. You'll know it's your environment by how you feel. Do you need to run from it? Do you want to go toward it? I showed up here at this house where we're all staying for a wedding this week, and I didn't know I was going to know anybody but the bride, and I was greeted by a friend from another community. And it was just like, I didn't know you were going to be, I didn't know you. And the bliss and the joy that we experienced from the surprise of seeing each other kind of off script, we didn't know that each other was going to be here. That brought so much bliss. And that lets me know that these are my people. And so when you're really, really choosing, it's okay to go, you're not judging because you say, I don't feel like I want to feel with that group. And so really pay attention. Well, how do you feel, and what groups, what communities, what people, what friends, what environments make you feel more of what you are looking and want to feel?
I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna say this and then we'll close it out. So this goes with what you said. So I have these cards, and I don't know if you guys can see them, but I've had them for a long time. Someone gave them to me years ago, probably when I met you, Crystal, in the Lisa tribe. But this one is the fox, and it says, if you're not excited by someone, if any place in your body tightens, your thinking gets muddled, or your words get thick and labored, step away. Rely on your body's system of warnings and heed them. That's how animals survive in nature, right? But so oftentimes we'll get those warnings, those little subtle, girl, whether it's a relationship, business venture, going to the right gym, the right massage person, or a community, and we'll try to force it, and then we get all bent out of shape because it wasn't right. But if you listen to your body, it's the greatest component that will tell you exactly what you need to know. It's just we got to be in tune with it. And as a powerful woman with the uniqueness that we all have, bold and being unstoppable, Dr. Crystal's message, Dr. Andrea's message, and Christina's message resonates with me and hopefully with all of you that have watched us today. So with that being said, I want to thank all of you for tuning in into the Bold, Unstoppable Woman show. And again, if you love the show, please subscribe to the show, share it with every woman you know, because the more we can connect and collaborate and get to know each other and share, discussions about things that affect us, the better we can be so that we can make the world a better place. Remember, it's about celebrating our strength, our resilience, and the grace that defines us. And it was through these triumphant leadership and innovative stories that the panelists here shared with us today that allows us to take that fuel and just go a little bit further down our path to bliss. And so until next time, I want to thank you, ladies, Dr. Andrea, Christina, and Dr. Crystal, who I don't know what happened, but there she is, Dr. Crystal. I want to thank you, ladies, for being with me today. It was a very impactful, heart-loving, heartfelt, and beautiful session. And until next time, y'all, stay bold and unstoppable. Bye.